Located in Westwood Village, California, in what we Mississippians would call Hollywood, is the grave of my favorite actress of all time, Marilyn Monroe. I couldn't visit Los Angeles without visiting Pierce Brothers Memorial Park and pay my respects to Marilyn. Let's see if we can learn a little bit more about her as we go along. But gosh, how do you say or do anything different with Marilyn that's not already been done on YouTube? Well, come along with us and let's see if we can figure this out. Westwood Village Memorial Park is in between a bunch of tall buildings in the middle of what I would call downtown. Apparently, all the mortuary services were all lined up basically in a row, and then the freeway was constructed and Pierce Brothers was the only one left. It's really a beautiful little cemetery, and if you're in the area, it's a must-see. Marilyn Monroe was an actress, a singer, and a model. She became famous as one of the most popular sex symbols in Hollywood in the 50s and early 60s. Frankly, her image and likeness is still very prevalent in Hollywood today, 50 years after her death. Marilyn was born Norma Jean, most people say Baker, but I think it's more appropriately Mortensen. Her mother was married to a Martin Edward Mortensen during the time of her birth. Her mother passed away in 1984 and is buried in Gainesville, Florida. Instead of focusing on the difficult details of her childhood, the 7 elementary schools in 5 years, and different foster homes and such like that, I think I'd rather celebrate her career with you. She, of course, was the sex symbol in the 50s and 60s. She symbolized that era's sexual revolution. She was the top-billed actress of her era, and her films would have grossed something like $2 billion in today's money. She was working in a factory during World War II when she met a photographer from the first motion picture unit and began a pin-up model, we'll call it, career. After several minor roles with various studios, she signed with Fox in 1950. At this point in her career, she had a couple roles in some comedies like As Young as You Feel and Monkey Business. Then she played in Clash by Night and Don't Bother to Knock. She faced scandal when it was discovered that she had posed for nude photographs prior to becoming a star. By 1953, she was the preeminent star in Hollywood, starring in roles in the film Niagara, which is one of my favorites. It relied heavily upon her sex appeal. Then there was Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, and here you see her handprints at the Chinese Theater, referencing that movie. She also starred in How to Marry a Millionaire. During that year, her nude photos were used in the centerfold and on the cover of the first issue of Playboy. Playboy's founder, Hugh Hefner, is buried right beside Marilyn. It is reported that he paid over $2 million for that crypt. She became disgruntled when she was typecast and found herself to be underpaid by the studio. She starred in The 7-Year Itch in 1955. In 1956, she starred in Bus Stop, which I think is one of her best. Then there was The Prince and the Showgirl in 1957 and Some Like It Hot in 1959. Her last completed film was The Misfits in 1961. She died on August 4th, 1962, while co-starring with Dean Martin, who is buried not too far from her. They were working on a movie called Something's Gotta Give. She had been fired from the movie, but Dean helped her to get her job back because he wanted to finish the film with her. She had some trips planned and a couple things professionally. Just doesn't sound like suicide to me. But for all that, you guys search elsewhere on YouTube. We normally tell stories about Mississippi and Mississippians on this channel, but I just couldn't help myself with this one. I hope you've learned a thing or two about Marilyn, and we'll check out some of the other stuff on Big Daddy's Mississippi. Thank you.